You have something to say to us?
Kimishima, we were able to look into the parents' injuries.
Good job. What did you find?
Yes, there were records that the parents had been going to a hospital, like you said. Let's see, it looks like they'd started being frequent visitors to the hospital 2 months ago.
How many times is frequent?
Oh, we didn't check every detail, but it was several times, ending about a month ago. The hospital staff seemed worried, since many of the injuries seemed to be signs of abuse.
It definitely could have been.
Did they tell the doctors who had been physically assaulting them?
No, they didn't. However, some of their injuries were quite severe. The mother seemed to have suffered some visual impediments due to a wound on her eye.
I see. Further investigation is required to determine who had been abusing them.
I think definitely they are going to be a big point in this. What about the medicine? Can we get that analyzed, or?
I need you to analyze
Yeah.
something.
Sure, send it over to me. I see.
You need to analyze the blood on that, right?
The DNA matches the victim as well. Also, this metal fitting seems warped. Could it be worn out from use?
That doesn't seem to be the case. Look again at the bloodstain.
The bloodstain?
It's not on the ornament. It's on the needle part that goes through the ear. If there's blood there that matches the victim, then the earring was...
I doubt Veronica stabbed herself. Was it ripped out of her ear? Okay, cool.
If that's the case, the damage to the fitting makes sense. But what could happen that would cause an earring to be torn off?
Some sort of domestic
I don't know yet.
violence thing?
Still, there must be some connection to everything else here.
Domestic abuse? Something that I'm still kind of considering here?
I think this information may lead us to some more concrete evidence.
Can we put these together?
True. Both
There we
of
go.
these facts relate to the earrings. The victim was discovered with only one of these earrings, and the other one was discovered in her room with her blood on it. Normally, if someone had an earring torn off to the point that it caused bleeding, they would have to realize that something was wrong. Still, the victim was on a bridge 8 kilometers away from her home. What this shows is that
She's probably taken by force. Out of all of these, I think that's the most correct one. Solid evidence! Yeah!
that's right. She didn't leave this room by her own will. She was probably forced out of here by someone else.
Well, I'm glad all the evidence pointed to that. Kind of figured that one.
Explain how one of the earrings was left in the room. But why would whoever abducted her leave her on a bridge 8 kilometers away?
To stage an accident?
I feel like there's a lot of
But yeah, we still gotta figure a lot of that out.
Dr. Kimishima, the results of the analysis on the corpse have come back.
Good. Did they find anything new?
It looks that way. The report indicates that the fractures to the femurs and skull, they were all posthumous injuries.
So these wounds were inflicted after she died.
So... she didn't get her legs broken when they got run over? Was she already dead on the road?
Yes, that's what the report says.
That's interesting. That's actually probably really important. So we're saying at this point that she was probably already dead when she was on the road then? Which would make sense if she was not breathing. With that much going on, you probably couldn't even determine if she was merely unconscious or dead. She was probably dead.
The victim's femurs were fractured in the accident with the truck. Her skull was shattered when her body was dropped from the bridge.
But she
We've
was already
confirmed
dead.
that both those injuries occurred after death. From those facts, it's clear that when the victim was on the bridge,
She's already dead. Solid evidence, yeah!
Yes. Even if she hadn't been run over by the truck, she was already dead.
So this definitely seems like they wanted to stage an accident at this point. Very much so.
That means that the driver was telling the truth in his interrogation.
Then does that mean that she was kidnapped from her room, murdered, and then had her corpse dumped on that bridge?
Definitely seems about right.
We'll need to investigate a little more.
Yes, of course, we can't jump to conclusions. That's not forensics. That's, not forensics, whatever. I don't know. Did we have to...
something for me, little guy?
Oh, now we have to get that looked at?
Bone
Okay.
analyzed in detail.
Apparently we couldn't get that looked at before, but now we can.
Oh, sure. What do you mean by in detail, though?
I just need to know if this fracture occurred before or after death.
This must have happened while she was still alive. Take a look at this area here. You can see where it started healing.
Great. I thought as much. All right, thank you.
Alright, so this seems to have been broken, not during any of the times afterwards, but possibly during the dispute ahead of time.
There's no knowing yet if this has anything to do with this case.
Yeah, it might not. Maybe she just broke her finger earlier.
But I do know now that this fracture occurred while she was still alive.
It's good to know at the very least. Let's see, medicine. Did we ever get that looked at? Did you find the hospital? Okay, so he's gonna take a look at that. Oh, and he's back.
Dr.
Cool.
Kimishima, about that prescription.
Did you find something out?
Yes, we found which hospital the victim had been going to and requested her charts. It says Veronica had been to the hospital a month prior to her death. Her symptoms were migraines, visual and auditory hallucinations, mood swings, and aggression.
Now see, that aggression is probably something that might have gone with this.
She was vomiting blood and had convulsions,
Ooh, ow.
along with hemoptysis.
Convulsions? Vomiting blood?
Is this gonna have to do with guilt, maybe?
Yes, that's what it says. The doctors urged her to have more detailed examinations, but it seems that she had no intention of listening to them. In the end, she left the hospital and whatever disease she had went unconfirmed.
If only her doctor had forced her to be hospitalized.
But that's illegal.
It's just how things are these days. People don't really get concerned about strangers.
Let's continue with the investigation. Sorry for being emotional just now. In any case, we don't know what disease she had. Judging from her symptoms, it was something severe.
Yeah, vomiting and... what was that? Convulsing? Was it vomiting blood, I think? Yeah, that's pretty severe.
If we find anything out, I'll be sure to let you know immediately.
You do
Thank
that.
you.
It may give us another hint in solving this case.
I'm sure that'll help us out a bit. Well, hospital record. Victim had been going to the hospital for a month before she died. Anyone else? What about her parents?
True. These two do share a common link. The victim's hospital records say she'd been at the hospital since...
How many months ago did she begin going to the hospital? 1 month, right?
I can't mess around anymore. It's time to get serious.
I'm trying to get serious. How many months? I thought it said 1. Yeah, let's answer that later. That's a tough one. What did it say? Had been going to a hospital for a month before she died. How is that incorrect? I don't get that.
Rash decisions. I need to think cautiously.
2 months ago? Because this was a month ago? Okay.
Yes, 2 months ago.
Dang it. Okay.
For the month before her death, she'd been treated at the hospital.
Oh well. Oh well.
Now, the parents' hospital records say they'd been visiting the hospital since. I can't make any more rash decisions. I
1
need to
month,
think
right?
Cautiously.
Oh darn it. Was that 2 months as
I can't mess
well?
around anymore. It's time to get serious. Yes. They also started visiting the hospital 2 months ago.
I really hope I don't mess this up. That would be highly disappointing.
Veronica was going for migraines, hallucinations, mood swings, and vomiting blood. And her parents were going after suffering frequent injuries. A month before the victim was found dead, the parents suddenly stopped having these injuries. An unpleasant coincidence, to be sure. I hope there's no connection here.
I'm sure there's a connection there. Yeah, I'm sure that the parents and her having to go to the hospital is very, very much together. Her little finger, what does that have to do with her little finger?
Yes, these seem to be related. According to the charts, the victim's symptoms were migraines, hallucinations, mood swings, vomiting blood, hemoptysis, and perhaps most importantly, I can't make any more rash decisions. I need
Increased
to think
aggression.
cautiously.
I'm thinking cautiously, it's fine.
Sudden aggressive behavior. That is, she was acting out violently. Her conditions must have worsened severely a month before her death. That is, her violent tendencies would have increased in frequency and severity. In addition to that is the fracture in Veronica's finger. This is the only injury she had while alive. That's a common injury when people hit things with their fists. On the other hand, the parents' injuries seemed like signs of abuse. If I were to consider all these points, those wounds were... I can't make any more rash decisions.
Veronica was beating her parents, as I suspected earlier. Or they were all attacked, but I'm pretty sure Veronica was beating them.
The records of both the victim and her parents, they show that Veronica had been physically abusing her parents.
It's what I figured. It just seemed kind of likely. They were not talking about it, but they had been attacked, and all of a sudden, it had been stopped since she was dead. Something seems like it had to do with her, and that just seemed pretty likely. Especially with that increased aggression thing going on. We still don't know anything about that bone thing. That was weird. Probably something to do with whatever she was... These two go together? No. Does that go with this? There we go.
We can put these two facts together. According to the chart from the hospital, the victim's condition caused her to vomit blood. If she had continued to vomit blood after her hospital visit, that would explain the bloodstains on her clothing.
Yeah, especially considering that she didn't have any kind of, like, wounds that we were talking about on her clothing. So that actually makes a bit of sense, doesn't it?
Yes. Thus, these bloodstains were caused by the blood that she had vomited.
That's a lot of blood. Probably going with that.
We can deduce the victim's physical state from this information. First, the pathological changes. There's no knowing what disease she had. However, if this discoloration of the bones shows the existence of a focus, it's safe to assume that whatever disease she was suffering from was in an advanced state. The massive bloodstains on her clothes came from her vomiting blood. There aren't many conditions that cause that much hemorrhaging. From these 2 points alone, I conclude that she was already in terminal condition. Even if she hadn't been killed, she was already on the brink of death.
It's kind of unfortunate.
I see. I feel sorry for her. But if that's the case, then why...
Why was she kidnapped? I still have my doubts about that, actually. Did the murderer kidnap her? Or did that even happen?
What do you mean?
Whatever the case, she was definitely taken from her home before she died. The question now is what happened between the time she was taken until the car accident.
And who took her?
Right.
That's another important thing I think we need to figure out.
Once we know that, we should finally be able to see the real truth behind this case. Little guy, I'm going to check the victim's room one more time.
Yeah, I feel like we did a very, very bad sweep for it.
Tool ready for you.
Ooh.
Someone's prepared. And what kind of present do you have for me?
It's not the most appropriate gift for a lady, but it's aluminum powder for finding fingerprints. There are some useful additions to the mixture.
Ah, great. I'm impressed.
I'm glad you like it. Spread the powder anywhere that looks suspicious and shine your investigation light on it.
And that'll make any fingerprints stand out? All right, I'll give it a try.
Good luck. Well then.
Nice. That'll be helpful, I'm sure. Terminal symptoms. I'm sure whatever our last thing is going to match with that. So, what should we look for in the room? I mean, fingerprints, obviously enough. Let's take another look. Probably the mirror? Yeah, let's try that. Okay, nothing here interestingly enough. What about over here? Just powder everything up, why don't we? What about the door itself? Can we get maybe a parent's fingerprint on the door? Though I guess that isn't exactly the most reliable bit thing, but, you know, whatever. Oh, what the heck? That's a lot of blood.
So many.
That's not even fingerprints, that's just blood.
These are all the same fingerprints.
Oh, okay,
It's
apparently
likely
they are
belong to the
fingerprints.
victim.
Was the victim crawling? Like, attempting to crawl away?
Now, why would she leave so many fingerprints on the floor?
Either attempting to crawl away or
Can't
she's
make any
being
more
dragged
rash
out.
Decisions. I need to think cautiously.
Pushing off the walls in 0G. Doing handstands in her own blood.
Yes, she was probably crawling on the floor to move around. The prints indicate she was heading towards...
The window? Or the bed, perhaps? I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to get a little spooked right now. Let's try the window. I don't know, like, it's weird. I'm not that scared, but at the same time, this is slightly disturbing, honestly, this whole thing. Okay, I think she was heading towards the door. Seems likely enough.
The prints on the floor lead to the room's entrance. They're even under the mat.
Are they trying to
What's
hide
underneath
something
the
under the mat?
Nothing. What could this mean?
We can't let the truth die. A whole heck of a lot of blood, wow. So it looks like she was somehow... The door was closed at the time, I bet. Can we close this door? We need to see what the back of the door looks like, I'm sure.
Just as I thought.
Wow, that's a lot of blood. I mean, this is honestly, it's kind of making me a little bit tense here. I need to go turn on a light, but I think I'm okay for now.
These are blood stains. They must be Veronica's. Considering the facts so far, these blood stains must have been caused by... I can't make any more rash decisions. I need to think cautiously.
Blood that she vomited, probably. Still,
Yes,
even if it is vomited blood, it's
Veronica's
still kind
clothing
of
was
sinister.
covered in blood that she had vomited. The amount of blood here is more than would be a fatal loss in most people. But there's something odd about these blood stains. Blood is a liquid. It should be evenly spread across the floor. If there was one reason for the bloodstains to be shaped like this, it would have to be, I can't make any more rash decisions.
Well, the door
I
was
need to
closed,
think
yes.
cautiously.
That's what I figured. They recently replaced the floor to help get rid of the bloodstains.
Yes. This door was closed when Veronica was vomiting blood. That's why the blood spread unevenly.
Okay, can we investigate the door? What else can we get from that? Let's look elsewhere.
This door had been closed when
Oh, there we
Veronica
go.
was
Whoops.
vomiting blood.
Apparently I was supposed to just click on the door.
Thus, the room is now in
Oh.
the same condition as it was when that happened.
Okay, this is pretty interesting. So, she was probably trying to escape and maybe her parents somehow locked her or shut the door in? Wow, this is kind of
Bloodstains
nerve-wracking.
inside the scratch marks? From looking at the shape and location of these scratches, they are... I can't make any more rash decisions. I need to think cautiously.
Yeah, they were caused by scratching.
Yes, these are traces that someone had clawed at the door. On top of that, it was done with such desperation that their own nails cracked and bled.
Wow. Well, that might explain why her finger was broken. It's been a while since I've gotten this chilled from a game, seriously, like... The last time I think, honestly, was 999. That was the last game that truly chilled me. I got a little bit of that from Moomin Echo, but not nearly as much as 999, and this is kind of giving me a bit of a chill, too. Alright. Yep, that's where Veronica died. Let's see. Can we not put these together?
These bloodstains are at
There
the
we go.
entrance to the room. The door was closed when Veronica vomited blood. That, along with the scratches on the inside of the door, there's just one sad conclusion we can reach from all this. I can't make any more rash decisions. I need to think
She was,
cautiously.
yeah, she was locked in. And most likely by her parents, assuming that it's in her house, because they're just tired of her crap at this point, right?
Yes. Veronica was prevented from leaving here. Writhing in pain and unable to open the door, she lost a lethal amount of blood and died right here. She wasn't
Okay.
kidnapped and killed.
So that's how she died, and then I bet after that they attempted to stage her death. Makes sense, right? Let's see, what else can we get? Can we have him investigate? What about that?
We can deduce the victim's condition within this room by putting these facts together. Veronica was crawling on the floor. It's likely that this is because of the mysterious disease she was suffering from. It sapped her strength to the point that she was unable to even stand. She had an attack of her disease inside this room.
So, honestly, I mean, with everything, you know, happening the way it was, you could technically say that the parents didn't kill her, though due to their inaction, I think they're still just as guilty. Or due to their counteraction, maybe, if you would even say it like that, their negative action. I think we figured it out. And the parents set up that guy to, quote, kill her, so that... Now, why were her bones
dead
like
shall
this? That's what...
speak.
Did we ever figure that one out?
Let's put together the truth of what happened here.
Like, why she decomposed that quickly? Did we ever figure that one out? I don't know,
A
maybe
woman's
that's something we'll
skeleton
find
was
out
found
afterwards.
50 kilometers downriver of the city. The victim's name is Veronica Cage. She was 23 years old. She was suffering from some sort of illness. It caused her severe pain along with mental instability. When she couldn't go on, she snapped and turned violent. This card shows the truth of that emotional state.
The card thing again. Let's see. Truth behind... Let's see, which one? Becoming increasingly aggressive without the finger, I think? Yeah. I guess just from punching somebody. Yeah,
The patient had
kick her
frequently
with your
physically
heels. Yeah.
assaulted her parents. This same disease finally caused her own death as well. This card shows evidence of that final attack.
And honestly, it wasn't even an attack by parents, but just their inaction that caused this, really.
Yes, There were traces of blood at her room's entrance. During the attack, she writhed in agony about the room. The shattered mirror is evidence of that violent behavior. Eventually, her strength gave out and she collapsed. She used the last of her strength to try to leave the room. However, her one final wish was left unanswered. This card speaks to that sad truth.
Parents locked her in. They were probably sick of it. They didn't want to get beat up again. I mean, it makes sense. You know, there's only so much you can take. So are they... I mean, they're obviously in the wrong, but... Are they really at the wrong? I don't know.
And the culprits carried her body out.
I think they're definitely still in the wrong, but that's still... Oh, that one's iffy.
Exactly. The earring caught on something while she was being carried. She was already dead when the earring was torn from her ear.
I find it interesting that it was a month ago and they didn't bother to clean up the glass all the way. That was a pretty big hint there.
They then cleaned the room to hide any signs she was there.
They did a crappy job of cleaning it. They didn't throw away the glass.
Had poor eyesight, and thus did not see the earring among the mirror shards.
Why didn't they throw away the mirror shards? That just seems like something that would have been a bit smarter.
Their plan was to throw the body off a bridge 8 kilometers away. But they were scared off by a pair of oncoming headlights. This culprit, with a bad back, gave up and fled the scene. Those headlights belonged to the blue truck. The driver could not avoid the body and ran over her.
I see, so they were actually intending to dump her in the river.
The driver believed he had killed her and dumped the body.
Kind of convenient for them, assuming that we didn't get this far.
Only completed the
I know, right?
This car
he almost helped him out.
That she was already dead when run over.
If we hadn't figured this out, then they would have gotten out of this scot-free.
Hiding a corpse is a crime, but the driver wasn't the murderer. The ones responsible are those who locked her away to die.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean...
She sought help, not knowing that none would ever come.
I suppose, yeah.
Her last
They are technically at fault.
Are the proof of that desperation.
But man, this was a bad situation all around. Oh man, and she said that and they didn't do anything. Man, that is rough. That is really rough.
It hurts! Mom! Dad! Help me!
Oh.
This is the whole truth in how her life was cut short.
Well, I mean, she was kind of already heading that way anyway, wasn't she?
I don't know what the dead want, but the truth must come out. I'm going to see the ones who cut your life's thread short.
Anybody home? I did visit your house earlier, but I'd like to visit it now with you guys actually here.
What brings you here?
Your daughter died in suffering. She struggled, she shouted, and she clawed at her door. She tried to escape so terribly that her own nails tore off. Why didn't you open the door?
There was no choice. We wanted her to be happy. We wanted her to be normal. We never thought this would...
Her death may have been inescapable. But you defiled her death in order to protect yourselves.
And I think that's the main truth here. They didn't cause her death, but they They sure just did a bad job with that. Man, that is
When death
rough.
came to you, did you suffer? Soon I will know for myself.
Miss Kimishima, your test results have come back.
I see. Let me ask you up front. How long do I have until my flame goes out?
A year at best. Maybe 6 months.
I understand. Thank you, Doctor.
Dr. Kimishima, the helicopter's here to take you to the lab.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, hey, I saw that.
Rosalia. What is this? Someone's name?
Dr. Kimishima, are you all right up there?
Yes, I'm fine. I'll be right down.
Oh, man. Is the mystery yet unfinished? Oh, I'm sure this has got to mean big stuff. Oh. Wow. I almost don't know what to say. I mean, that was intense. That really was. I don't know if you guys got that feeling at all. Maybe it was just because I played it. Maybe just because it's, 10, 11 at night right now. And it's dark. I don't know, but... And it was the weird thing about it was there wasn't even a real sense of danger. Like in the first one, the guy was a murderer. This second one, you could arguably say nobody was the murderer. Besides the parents just having an inaction to help her, and then attempting to hide the body. So there was even less inherent danger, but just due to the situation, it was incredibly tense and very disturbing, really. It was. Wow. I don't know. Let me know what you guys thought about that. I know it's another long one today, so sorry about that, but that was really good. The first one was interesting, but this one was downright just like edge of your seat kind of thing. Like, I don't even know what to say other than what I've said. It's just absolute insanity. It really is. Alright, anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. It was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Probably gonna have to do some more of the bone and endoscopy stuff, because that stuff is so far behind everything else. Like, everything's getting done so early on for them. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time for some more Trauma Team. Very excited. Bye!